Secondly, um, here's a hard one, right? So we always want to get to what we want to talk about. So we may ask a question and then we have a response already in line, right? That response may not be what they need. It may not be the value for them, but we think that it is. So we want to make sure that we are really listening, because the only way that we can validate that we are really good listeners is if the other person feels heard.
Hmm.
Let me say that again. So the only way we are actually good listeners is if the other person feels heard. And the way that we can start figuring out if they feel heard is the more they talk, they feel heard. If they don't feel heard, they're not gonna, right? We've all had that where we feel like somebody's not listening to us and we're like, all right, I'm out. I'm not gonna say anything anymore. So that's number one. Number two, they start physically, they will be different. They'll start leaning in, or they will be more engaged and active in how they're speaking. So we're watching for those cues. We're listening for those cues to make sure that we are actually listening. We can actually ask it as well, right? So to make sure that I am hearing you correctly, this is where you want to go with this. This is the timeline. These are the next steps.
Hmm.
How does that feel for you? That's a conversation. That's listening. That's, kicking the ball back and forth instead of I have it now, then you have it. I have it now, then you have it. That's an actual, combination of mutual success. One of the best lines that I have, and this happened to me years ago as well with somebody else that's also in the industry. So take this one, make it your own, but tell me more. Tell me more is your best question slash statement you could ever ask. If you don't like the format of that, then change it up. Can you expand on that a little bit for me? Okay, I'm getting this. Let's talk about this one further. Can you go into detail on that for me? Right? Tell me more. Tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. So instead of going right to what you have to say, sit with them in what they're talking about. Let them tell you more about what it is that's on their mind, what it is that's on the agenda, what's happening next. You'll get a lot further, and then you're actually listening because you do not know those answers.
Hmm.
So those are a few different steps. Listening is a tough one. I will say
Oh
it's,
yeah.
I mean, it's not like an easy, and everything in the world will come at you to skew you off of it. So yes.
Despite the fact that in most of the books about communication and selling, the listening part, it takes like 1 to 3 chapters out of 10 or 20. Uh,
Mhm.
it is the most difficult one. It's the most,
Yes.
the one where we struggle the most. I want you to imagine this person who is listening to this episode and thinking about, yeah, my job is supply chain finance. I don't need to be selling anything,
Hmm.
or I can do it a little bit later on. Uh, to this person who is postponing the time to put themselves together in order to start looking at through the lenses of connecting to close.
Hmm.
What would you say to that person who's listening to us and is just postponing that moment?
Hmm. That you've already been selling yourself and probably not well. We sell ourselves every single day. You are
Mm,
in the selling business.
mm,
Everyone on this planet, whether they are quote unquote in the definition of what sales is or not, we are constantly in a push or pull negotiation or selling every single day. We're in it when we buy our coffee. We're in it with our spouses or our
mm,
partners. We're in it with our friends,
mm,
right? It's a constant. It's a human connection. That's
mm,
what it is. So I always say all selling is communication. That's all it is. And if you want to get anywhere, whether you are in a sales role, whether you are in a management role, whether you are a cashier somewhere, whatever it is, you are constantly being evaluated by others.
mm,
Constantly. Because that's what we do as humans. We have a split second first impression. That number varies every once in a while. Sometimes I hear it's like a 3%. But really, it's instant when we make a first impression with someone. Now, here's the kicker, is that it's 76% of the time accurate.
mm.
76% of the time accurate. Hoofda. So if we do not come off well in our communication on how we're moving through the world, then it's a lot harder for us to climb that mountain when the time is right. I'll give you a live example. I was on a flight coming back from a training that I was doing. I was tired. I usually don't engage when I travel because I'm spent, which is totally fine, by the way. Give yourself your own grace and fill your cup back up when you need to. And I was sitting in the middle seat, yay me, of two people who knew each other. And I was like, what is happening? Why? Why? And so they were, talking around, man, I'm like, okay, this is lovely. Um, and they were nice people, but then the gentleman was like, "Oh, so what are you doing here?" And started kicking up a conversation. And I was just not there, right? And so I missed my opportunity. And he asked me what I did, and I started my elevator pitch horribly. I was like, yeah, what do I do? Well, I own this company and I do corporate. Oh, it was the whole time I was talking, I was like, awesome. This sucks. Like I need to shut up. Like, oh my God, right? And I was like, okay, well, whatever. I was like, so tell me what you do, right? The common kick the can back. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I just took over as the head of sales for X company, which happens to be an extremely large company here in the U.S." And I was like, "Oh, of course you are, of course you are." I completely ruined that. Right? We're still in connection today. I still do not have their business today, but it's a real life scenario of I was not selling myself, right? I was not coming with this is how amazing I am. This is what I do. And everyone is amazing. Everyone has that, right? So really showing up in that way. The other way, that's an extreme. But let's take your partner or your roommate or your best friend, and you call up and you're like, "Hey, I am thinking we order in tonight for food." And in your brain, you're like, "I really want Italian tonight," right? And so they're like, "Oh, yeah, let's get tacos." Well, that's not quite Italian. So now guess what you're in? You are in a selling negotiation, my friend. It may not seem like it because you know them personally and it's a lot easier, it feels easier, but that's what you do. That's what you do every single day. So if you don't feel like you're in that mind frame of needing it now, you're already in it. It's a life skill. It is a human connection life skill.